Hello, I'm Trent, aka oTradeMark here, and today I'm going to show you guys how to AFK TinyTask the alien city portals. So this has been a very frustrating update for me trying to go for Boros. The drop rate on Boros is absolutely atrocious. I don't know what it is. All I know is I have over 600 of the power cores, and I have yet to see a single secret Boros portal. So I spent a lot of time, hours and hours, trying to get this correct, and I finally have figured out a way that you can TinyTask loop the alien city portals. I will be completely upfront, it is not easy. It's very scuffed on how you actually do this. Essentially on every single map, most of the maps, you're going to have two angles that you can load into the map. So you can either load in like this where you're facing the side of your character, or you can load in like this facing the back of your character. And what I did is essentially highlighted all of the areas where you could place a heal unit in teal, all the places you can place ground units in yellow, and then I overlay that with the other angle. And what we get is essentially where you can place units on both where both angles would have a valid placement. Now here's where it's really scuffed, okay? The areas in red are really the only places you have to play. So you have two ground spots, one to the left of your character, one to the right of your character, and then some hill spots down here towards the bottom, okay? So in order to do this, you're probably going to need some strong hill units. It was easy for me because I can solo it with my unique Metal Knight, but you should be able to do this as well if you have some pretty strong meta units, or like Toshido, maybe some hybrid units, something that you can do there. But let's just hop right into it on how you actually do this. So the first thing, you need to open TinyTask, and you're going to go to preferences, make sure that continuous playback is turned on. I'm not going to teach you guys how to use TinyTask. Go watch another video if you want to learn that. I'm going to hit record, or actually my hotkey F8. You guys can change that under preferences. I'm going to go click into the window, click items, go over to portals, and I'm going to click on my second alien city portal, or alien portal right here, alien spaceship. Make sure it's your second alien portal, because if you click on the first one and then you get a Boros secret portal, it's going to shift everything one to the left, and you're going to end up using a secret portal. Whether it's whatever portal it is, it doesn't matter, because you're probably not going to want to use a secret portal. So make sure you click on like your second or even your third secret portal. Just don't click on the first one, but you do need it to be in the first two rows of your portals. Technically you don't have to. You could use the little scroll bar on the right side. You have to click on it though, because TinyTask will not record mouse wheel movements, so you can't just like scroll down using your mouse wheel and expect it to play that back. You'll notice here that I'm actually waiting for players, waiting for the full countdown on players. That is because if you are not strong enough to solo this consistently, I would recommend waiting the entire time before starting the portal, because what you're trying to do is actually get players in random public lobbies to join you. Even one player can dramatically increase your odds of winning. Luckily, I have strong enough units that I can solo it. If you are strong enough to solo, then you can do the exact same steps, but instead of rejoining or returning to lobby, you just close out of Roblox and rejoin your private server as part of the TinyTask recording. So this is an important part that I need to talk to you guys about. Once you actually start the portal, you'll notice that sometimes you load into a game very quickly. Like right away, as soon as you press start, you're going to be taken into this loading screen. Other times, it takes 20, 30, even 40 seconds to actually load into the game. That's all based on, I'm not sure exactly what causes that, whether it's lag from Roblox, or lag with Anime Adventures, or lag, your individual connection, whatever it is. You load in at different time periods. So in order for you to sync all of these playthroughs for future playbacks, in order to sync these up, what we need to do is we need to wait some time after we load. So when I first load in here, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to wait about 30 seconds. And you'll notice that I loaded in on the side angle. That is the angle that I prefer. The side angle is much easier to record from, in my opinion, and I'll show you why in just a second. But now that we've waited a little bit, I can zoom in or out using the O and I keys. Do not use your mouse wheel. Again, your mouse wheel will not be picked up. I can use the I to zoom in or O to zoom out. I'm going to zoom all the way out so it's consistent on both angles. And then I'm going to basically look at where I'm going to place my first unit. Now, you'll notice the start timer is all the way down to about 5 seconds. Or right here at about 5 seconds, I'm going to click the yes button several times, or where the yes button would be. That's just in case. If you load it in earlier, it's going to already have started. If you load in later, though, it's going to basically click yes to make sure that you're starting at the same time period. Okay. All right. So I've clicked yes, or where yes would be, right here several times. And now we get our first bit of money. Now I'm going to wait a little bit again, just in case future playthroughs were off sync on time. And then my first unit, I'm just basically going to go left from this little metal area. And just place my first unit like kind of right here from this, go left a little bit and place right here, okay? Now I'm also going to pretend place down another unit just to the right a bit, and then one just a little bit down and to the right, and then one directly below. The reason why I do this, or if you have 2 metal knights, you could even place another metal knight down here, another metal knight down here, another metal knight down here, okay? But the reason why you're placing Metal Knight multiple times is because you need to have safety clicks in case on the other angle you're just a little bit off, okay? Here's another example of where you're gonna have to do safety clicks. When I click on, I'm gonna try and always click right below the legs of Metal Knight, but you'll notice that the upgrade button is right here, right? It's right up and to the right. I can go ahead and upgrade this up to like laser upgrade. But guess what? In the other angle, the upgrade button's actually all the way up here by the by this little range symbol, or maybe even the SPA symbol, I don't remember. But what that means for you is that in order to upgrade this correctly each time, you actually have to click up here and then click off, click the unit, and then click up here again on the SPA, click off, you know, just essentially what you're doing that's really scuffed, and I know it, I wish there was a better way to do this, but there's just not, is you have to actually try and upgrade for not only your current playthrough, but future playthroughs when you're aimed the other direction, you're trying to prepare to upgrade for those periods of time. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is I'm clicking off the unit over to the left. That's important because it resets your cursor to make sure you're not selecting anything. Then I'm selecting the unit, and then I'm clicking a few times around different areas where the upgrade button could be, okay? And I'm just gonna do that a bunch of times. And then once I think now this is gonna get me through the early levels. Then what I'm going to do is actually place down my money unit. Now, remember, the 2 spots that are valid are over here to the left of my avatar and over here to the right of my avatar, okay? So I'm going to try and place my first money unit Bulma right around here, I think, somewhere in this area. But again, I'm going to safety place Bulma on a few different places just right around here, okay? I'm going to do the same thing now on Bulma. I'm going to upgrade above her. I'm going to click a different location. I'm going to upgrade a bunch of times again. Going to click, upgrade a bunch of times. Click, upgrade a bunch of times. Okay. I wish there was a better way to do this, but this is exactly what you get because the upgrade buttons are proportional to how close you are to a unit. It's going to shift where the upgrade button is when you go from being at the horizontal view to the vertical view. That's why we placed the multiple places. That's why I'm clicking over here to actually upgrade. Okay. Again, I wish there was a better way to do this. And it took me dozens of recordings to try and get one that did actually loop correctly. But I did finally do it. I was able to record a recording. I watched about 6 playbacks back. It worked correctly. And then I played it overnight. It seemed to work correct. I didn't like record overnight or anything, so I don't know if all of them were able to succeed correctly. But for the most part, this should work. Now, if you don't have like a really strong unit like my Metal Knight, right? Well, then the way that you're going to actually have to do this. Oh, one more thing. You notice there on the Bulma upgrade from 3 to 4, the upgrade, because Bulma shifts up on the little, on her building, the upgrade button shifts up as well, which means that I need to make sure that no matter where my Bulma is placed, all of my Bulmas are basically upgraded to this correct upgrade, because sometimes you're going to get money at a later time, like if you're killing things a bit slower. So I want to make sure that I'm upgraded to the 10k upgrade before starting to click above here. Okay, and then again, I'm just going to click on a bunch of these different locations and try and upgrade. Now with Bulma, it doesn't really matter. You can kind of click quickly like this and do the upgrades. But keep in mind, if you go too quick and you're clicking around here and you're doing this on something like, I don't know, any other unit, right? The problem is, let's take, for example, let's just place like a Sakura down here, right? If you're clicking here and you're just like going up real quick and clicking around, you can actually sell the unit. I've had several TinyTasks completely ruined because I was clicking too fast. Clicked on where the sell button was, even though I wasn't intending to, and ruined future playthroughs and had to replay it or re-record that. Okay, so here's where you're going to have to place if you want to play a hybrid unit. Over to the right here, there is some ground area right here where you can actually play a unit. So let's place an Aizen right about here. And then let's place an Amelia just to the right of that. And then let's place another Aizen over and up a little bit, maybe right there. And then maybe another Aizen right above that. Okay. So I've placed 4 units down. Now the other angle might not get all 4 of these, but hopefully it will get some of them, right? And I can click on them a few times, get them upgraded. I'm not going to upgrade Amelia, but just in case they're at a little bit different of an angle, I'll just click up a little bit above. And then the rest of the money that we get for the last round, I'm just going to invest all of it into Metal Knight. So again, I'm clicking on Metal Knight. I'm clicking on Metal Knight's feet, clicking the upgrade button a few times. Then I'm clicking his feet and clicking where it will be potentially in the other angle, which should be around the range icon right there. But you can kind of click just like a few different places just to make sure you have your bases covered. Okay, so now I've clicked a few different places. We've upgraded a whole bunch and we should be good to do this. Now, if you don't have as strong of units as I have, like I said, then you can place hybrids down here. You're just going to have to farm faster than I did. Okay. I placed my Metal Knight first. You're going to have to place some unit, damaging unit first, but then you don't have to upgrade him as much. You could go straight into your farm routine and then later on, you know, basically get that done afterwards. Okay, so we have Metal Knight completely upgraded here. We have our Aizens over here placed and upgraded. We have our slow unit down. The last thing, if I wanted to, I could place like, maybe I could find a place for a Sakura around here. Again, some of these placements will not be valid when you switch angles. So keep that in mind. Just like you might have to place things a few different times. So I might place in, you know, a Sakura right here, Sakura right here. Because again, when we shift focuses, we want to make sure that we have plenty of clicks to ensure that we actually beat this. All right, so now we have our boss coming in. Here's the thing about the boss. Depending on the boss, depending on the weakness that it has, you're going to kill it either faster or slower than you do in consecutive playthroughs. So while this setup should kill the boss, no problem, I want to make sure that I give enough time after this and enough time to these clicks, right, that we're actually upgrading here in case we got money a little bit later on one of these rounds, so that we actually kill him. And then what I want to make sure that we're doing is giving enough time for it to completely finish loading. Okay, so let me show you what I mean by this, right? All right, so we're done with the run. At this point, we're done with the run, but we want to give this like another 20 to 30 seconds in case. Remember, when we're shifted to the back angle, we're actually going to be playing from the right off over there off screen. We're going to be playing and it's not going to, we need to give it more time to kill the boss. Okay, so you can click on next. You can click here several times where this next button is going to be, which is basically over to the left of your Metal Knight right here. You can click here as long as you want, but give it an extra 30 seconds to a minute of just clicking over on this side to make sure that you're on this screen. Return to lobby, and then from there we can finally, after we've given it 30 seconds or so, we can click on return to lobby. We're going to load back into a public lobby, and we're going to give it another let's say 20 seconds to actually entirely load in. For future playthroughs, again, we want to make sure that if for some reason we weren't loading into a game right away, that we have enough time to actually sit here and process the load. And then once we're completed with that, now we can go ahead and stop the TinyTask recording. There we go. It's completely recorded. I'm going to press print screen, which is my playback button. By default is Control-Shift-Alt-P, but you'll notice I'm completely hands off. From now on, it's going to go through and replay that back exactly as I just did this, okay? Now, I'm not going to go back and commentate on that playback, but what I will do is after this recording is over, I will add at the end of the recording a sped up version of the other angle, so you can see what it will look like when you play it back from the vertical angle rather than the horizontal angle. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Anyways, guys, I spent a ton of time trying to get this TinyTask actually set up and working correctly. So if you would enjoyed this or it helped you out, please leave a like and comment on the video. Thank you for supporting the channel. Oh, one last thing. A lot of you are going to ask for the actual TinyTask recording. Okay, I will share it, but the thing is, it's easier to just record your own, I promise, because you need to have everything matching me. You would have to be playing in a 4K on a 4K monitor. You would have to be playing with the same mouse DPI as me, which I believe is 1600 DPI right now. You would have to be using the same units in the same slot. So you need a hill unit in slot 3. You need a hybrid unit in slot 2, or a ground unit, I guess, in slot 2, or a hybrid. And then you would need a slow in slot 4. Okay, you have to have that in order for this tiny. Oh, and then Bulma in slot. What did I have Bulma in? Slot 5, okay? And Sakura in slot 6. I forgot about that. So yeah, I mean, you'd have to mimic this exactly. I will leave the recording in case you want to try it, but I promise you it's just easier to record your own TinyTask recording. Anyways, guys, mahalo, Albito, thanks for watching. Peace. I'm out of here.